you want to capture cinematic pro level shots with just 5 gimbal movements? This episode is packed full of tips and tricks that I personally use, and I know that will help you in achieving that cinema next level look. Also, at the end of this video, I'll reveal to you my favorite gimbal move of all time. The one that I rely on to give me that extra punch and interest for my viewer. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the viewer and creating suspense and keeping them excited with your movements, your camera movements. To achieve this dolly zoom, it's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is do a traditional push in towards the model, keeping the model in focus the entire time. Then when you get to post-production, all you have to do is add in a digital zoom with keyframes. Do you see how adding that digital zoom in post makes the shot that much more interesting? The key here is if you are pushing in on the subject with the gimbal, then in post-production, the keyframes must be zooming out. So in other words, creating a sort of parallax effect. You're pushing in with the gimbal, but zooming out with your digital keyframes. The next gimbal shot is what I call the focal point shot. Perfect for adding depth while keeping your subject in sharp focus. Here's the key though to achieving this shot, and it's not just the gimbal movement itself, but it's also how you set up your focus on your camera. Set the autofocus mode to locked. As I move the gimbal forward, the extras create a level of depth while the camera remains focused on the model. You'll notice how the blurred foreground adds depth while keeping the model sharp, enhancing the viewer's focus on the subject. The orbit shot. It's a dynamic gimbal shot that adds energy and keeps your audience locked onto the subject. In this case, I'm starting at eye level with the model, shooting on a wide-angle lens. The wide-angle lens allows me to capture more of the surroundings while keeping the model as the main focal point, making this shot a great option for establishing shots where you want to showcase both the subject and the environment around them. Let me show you a variation to the shot, still using a wide-angle lens, but this time from a low angle. The combination of a wide lens and a low angle gives a sense of epic scale to the shot, making the subject seem dominant within the frame, which is something that I use in my music videos often to make the artist or the subject powerful. Next, there's a third variation to this orbit, and that is to get the model to move in the opposite direction to that of the orbit. This creates a much more intense parallax effect, where the background shifts in relation to the subject, adding more depth and making the motion feel even more dynamic. It's a simple but effective adjustment that really amplifies the shot's energy. Finally, here's the fourth variation that I think most people should be using. Zoom in on the lens. When you zoom in, the background is pulled closer to your model, creating a sense of compression that brings everything into a tighter, more dramatic frame. Take a look at this final footage here. You'll see how these variations make the orbit shot versatile, from keeping the subject at eye level to creating a dramatic low angle to adding depth with a parallax effect, and finally using zoom to compress the background and pull the viewer into the scene. The next shot is the soft focus reveal. These are names I'm giving these gimbal shots myself. I don't know if there's other names out there, but it's what I like to call it. This technique is perfect for introducing your subject or building anticipation in your scene. I first start off by setting my camera to manual focus. I walk up close to the model where my final position will be in the edit, and I get my focus in on her. Then I hit the record button on my camera and I slowly do the ninja walk backwards, making the subject drift out of focus as I move away. Once I have that shot, in the edit, I reverse the footage so that it plays back in reverse. When the shot plays, it starts with the model far away from the camera, out of focus, and as the camera moves closer, the model comes into sharp focus, creating a suspenseful and dramatic reveal. This technique is great for setting the mood or adding a mysterious vibe to your scene. Now we're saving the best for last, my favorite gimbal move, the wipe transition. This shot is great for moving between scenes without the harshness of a traditional cut. Here I'm timing the gimbal's movement so one of the extras walks past the camera, effectively acting as the wipe to transition us into a new scene. In the final footage, you'll see how the wipe transition keeps the video's flow intact, allowing us to shift between two scenes smoothly without breaking the viewer's immersion in the scene. And there you have it, 5 essential creative gimbal movements that will make your footage that much more dynamic and cinematic. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, it's cool, you can just bounce. Until next time, cheers.